All right, everyone. Welcome one, welcome all. Episode 41 of the C&T Show after a brief hiatus. It's, not a lot going on in sports right now, but we're working on it. Quite a busy week. Got some stuff to talk about. Obviously, some sports updates and news. March Madness is officially upon us. We got the Players' Championship this week, which is one of the biggest non-major golf tournaments in the sport. And then NFL offseason. Busy week, busy last couple days with a lot of contracts, some franchise tag stuff. And then we'll update you guys on what we're doing this weekend for a show for next week. But yeah, that's all I got as far as the intro's concerned, Casey.
That's good.
You got anything?
Nope.
All right, let's do it, guys. Casey, it's officially March Madness season. I feel like I've watched less college basketball this year than I do normally. I know you've watched quite a bit of Big East basketball yourself. We are the number one college basketball podcast in America, so I want to preface that. I'm excited for March. The tournament's always fun. It'll be a bummer if Michigan doesn't make it just for local rooting interest here. I don't think State is going to make it either. But we'll see what happens to the Big Ten tournament. What are your thoughts? Who do you think is going to win it all this year?
Hold on one second. I'm going to go... I have no idea, honestly. I might go Bama.
Yeah, I was going to say
No,
Bama.
I mean, UCLA is starting to get hot. I don't know. Yeah,
It's
I'm
tough.
just gonna say I'm gonna go No, I'm gonna go Marquette. Fuck it.
Marquette.
I'm gonna go Big East school. I'm gonna go Marquette.
I
You
like
wanna
it.
know what's stupid? St. Mary's and Gonzaga in the West. The West Coast Conference. They only had to play two conference tournament games.
I know. Yeah.
They had like a bye all the way to the semifinals. Both of them did.
I know. Yeah, it's stupid. So I don't know. Do all Big Ten teams make the tournament, or do the
Yeah.
bottom? Okay, I thought
All
for
Big
some-
Ten teams make it, but they just have it like it's spread out. So it's like some teams, Michigan State, like some teams have to play like 5 games or 6 games,
depending
something like
on your
that.
seeding.
Yeah, like if you're like the bottom 4 teams, I think those teams have to play a play-in game. Michigan's has to play. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Because I know State plays tonight, don't they?
No, they don't. They have 2 byes.
I thought
State's
I
a
saw-
4 seed. They're a 4 seed. They don't play until what is it? Probably Thursday.
Friday. Sorry. Yeah, they play Friday.
Yeah,
at
probably
2:30.
Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think the best part about March is obviously it's so unpredictable. That makes it a great watch. And then obviously there's always the 1 or 2 teams that are a high seed that just make a run and they become like America's favorite team. Like I remember when Florida Gulf Coast did that a few years ago, and they were just
They were like a
dunking
15
on
seed
everybody.
that went
Yeah.
on. Yeah, so I have
And
the
then,
Big Ten thing right here.
Okay.
So it's like Wisconsin, Ohio State, Minnesota, and Nebraska have to play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to win the Big Ten. Michigan will have to play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the top 4 seeds only play Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that'll be interesting. Obviously, for those that don't know, like for a team like Michigan or Minnesota or one of the teams Casey mentioned, you win the Big Ten tournament, you're in. So
Right.
It's not an easy feat to do. And but I know in one of the conferences out on the East Coast, don't know the name of the school, but they won their tournament and they're in, but they only have like 12 regular season wins. So that's kind of the cool thing about March is you get a chance to. I mean, if you get hot at the right time, that was Izzo's shtick with Michigan State forever. They might suck up until March, but if they're playing well in March, you don't want to play them.
Right.
So that's always been a thing. I'm looking forward. Like I said, I'm looking for the tournament. I can't wait to see what the teams will be this year. How big of upsets. It feels like this is a year of parity in college basketball where there's just not one really, really, really good team.
No, there's not.
Houston's good, but I don't associate them like with the Duke teams or the Gonzaga teams of the past, where it's like they've won 30 games and they're the all in betting favorite. So I think it'll be a good tournament. So I'm looking forward to that. So we'll obviously do plenty of shows, talking about the tournament as it goes on. I think we'll know who's in as of Sunday or Monday. I don't know when
Sunday.
they do this. So yeah, they do the selection show Sunday, so we'll be able to fill out our brackets, and we'll do obviously a bracket on the show. We'll fill one out live.
I'm pretty sure like the Big Ten usually has I think they're like the last game. Them or the ACC.
Oh, like the last tournament to finish up.
Them and the SEC. Them and the SEC, because I think ACC's Saturday. Yeah, Sunday you have Ivy League, SEC, Atlantic 10, American, and Big Ten. Those are all. Big Ten is the last game.
Okay. Nice. Big Ten just, holding up the party for everybody else.
Right.
Moving on. Ja Morant, been in the news recently for some, not so great reasons. By now, I'm sure everyone's seen the video of him at what they call a gentleman's club, and strip club flashing a gun on his Instagram live story. Great player, boneheaded decision, and the problem is this is a slew. This is adding on to a slew of other instances where he's used a gun. He beat the crap out of a 17-year-old this summer, and apparently brandished a weapon then. So there's just all these things that are starting to escalate this one incident, which this one incident in and of itself is not great.
Stupid. I mean, if you're gonna flash a gun, he showed a little ass gun.
Yeah, I saw Big Cat. Big Cat was making fun of how small the gun was. I hate this for Ja Morant because I think he's an exciting player. I think he's great. I do too, and it's just I don't want this to be a what if when we look back in 20 years and be like, I wish he would have kept his stuff together because who knows.
And it's dude, you are literally less than 6 to 8 months away from making a gigantic deal. Supermax. You're about to make $200+ million, and you're doing stupid shit like this.
Yeah, he's about to get a Supermax contract, but he better be careful because he'll end up in a Supermax prison.
Yeah, I mean,
I saw the police are investigating it because obviously, he violated some gun laws. So I heard that they're taking this very seriously because they're like, this isn't cool, man. You can't be taking guns into strip clubs. That's just a recipe for disaster. Then obviously, NBA's investigating him taking on a team plane, and if that's the case, he's going to be suspended for up to 50 games, which that's going to cost him money. Because if you're a team that's going to be willing to sign this guy, you got to wonder. You hands on a bag like this. It reminds me of a Kyrie situation. Although Kyrie didn't do anything like this, it was just a distraction's a distraction nonetheless. So if you're going to give a guy all this money, you want to know that he's committed to playing basketball and staying out of trouble, right? Yeah. So hopefully he figures it out. I'll be interested to see what the NBA decides to do. Obviously he had to transport the gun somehow. The only thing I can think of is he somehow can prove that it's not his gun and
it's one of his boys.
Someone just handed it to him when he got there. But still, to be so boneheaded, to go on Instagram Live and be like, what up?
And flash it. You're an idiot.
Yeah. Red Sox, best spring training team of all time.
Red Sox have not lost a game in 2023 yet.
Best spring training team of all time.
They might go 162-0.
They could.
Look, they are on track to go 162-0. They haven't lost a fucking game.
Yeah,
That's the game.
I'm excited for the Red Sox season to get here. I'm really excited to see how this pitching staff looks once spring training's done and we know who's going to make the final roster and whatnot, and kind of see what their plan is regarding that. But yeah, we had to bring it up. They are undefeated in 2020.
Opening day. What is it? March 30th, Thursday against Baltimore.
Yep.
Opening day.
Hopefully they don't start like what was it last year? They got swept by Baltimore to start the year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It's a horrible way to start the season. They're in a tough division. Obviously, they're going to have to claw and fight their way. It's a long season.
And honestly, Baltimore could be good. They got hot at the end of the year last year.
They're a good young team, for sure.
Yep.
That Andy Rutledge or whatever.
They're a team you can't sleep on like you thought you would. Like the last couple of years, you were able to.
They're young and good, which means that they're going to be scrappy and play you every game like it's Game 7 of the World Series.
It was like at the beginning of last year, like this team, the Baltimore team was not like they weren't good at the beginning of the year. They didn't get hot until the end, and it was one of those things to where they were comparing like the Sox record against Baltimore to every other team. And it's like you're dropping these games to where you should be winning. Like what is it? I think Tampa Bay was 19-1 at one point against Baltimore, and the Red Sox weren't even that close. And it's like that's games in the division that you're giving up to Tampa Bay because you're losing to a bad team.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I wasn't thrilled with the Sox off season, but we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, losing Trevor Story really hurt. That put a massive gap, especially in the middle of their lineup. I mean, defensively, I think Kiki's going to be okay over there at short, but
offensively, it does hurt.
It hurts quite a bit. But hopefully they're competitive, and when they get him back, it'll be like what we talk about. When you get a guy back from injury, it's almost like a late year acquisition in the trade deadline or something. So hopefully they're in the mix when he comes back in late August or whatever it may be, and adds a much needed boost to a team that's already been competitive.
I mean, the one thing that I liked about the Sox offseason was them seeing what the issue was last year, and that was their bullpen. Their bullpen was fucking garbage. And they went out and they filled in that bullpen need. Yes, they didn't sign a huge name like we all wanted them to do, but it's like, okay, if they win in 2023, I'm going to say this offseason was a success. Yes, you lost Xander. You lost a guy. But you ended up signing a guy that's going to be the face of your franchise for the next 13 years. You ended up locking in Rafi, a guy that's younger than Xander. And then you looked at a need that you guys needed, and you guys went after it, and you guys filled that need. Yes, starting pitching is going to be questionable, but it's fuck it. If you have a badass bullpen that can just go out there every night and be sick, shit, fuck it. Score more runs, and then throw your bullpen out in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're that deep,
sail through 2 scoreless innings, so hopefully he can get back to being, what we, know.
He just has to stay healthy.
Got to stay healthy, and then obviously, Turner will be back by the end of the year. But that was a scary sight yesterday when he got hit in the face with that pitch.
Yep.
You hate to see that. I mean, these guys throw 100 miles an hour to get in it, and baseballs are hard. Like that would suck.
I mean, hopefully one of those things to where hopefully Sale is back enough to where if the Sox are like right on that edge like they were last year, I'm like, okay, well, do we sell? Do we go out and buy? And I hope they somewhat sell and get rid of Sale. You know what I mean?
No.
So hit the trade.
You want them to suck so they sell?
No, I'm saying if they're like on that verge, like they were last year at the trade deadline. Sale's having a good year, and they're on that verge on like, do we sell or do we trade? I would say you look for trade offers for Sale.
Yeah.
How old is
he? I mean, I don't know. He's in his 30s.
I mean, do you think he can pitch in his 40s?
I mean, I'm not going to sign him to like a massive extension or anything. No. He's already been injured, like riddled with injuries.
Right.
We got the World Baseball Classic this year.
Yeah, that's been going on.
Yeah, I mean,
You
a
didn't
lot
know
of the
that?
players that are participate. No, I know. We haven't really talked about it, so I'm excited for that. I always like watching those games. I don't know.
That
Did you see
Dominican
the home?
Republic team is fucking insanely good.
Yeah, I don't know that the Americans are going to win it this year.
No, dude, that Dominican Republic team is stacked.
Yeah,
Like,
they
you
are.
can't pitch around that lineup. 1
No.
through 9 is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see. I know like a lot of the
Well, it
International.
hasn't been on, or what? It hasn't started yet.
No,
Or-
Japan just played an exhibition game yesterday. It hasn't started yet.
Oh, it's coming up in the middle of March. Oh, I thought it
Yeah.
already started.
Yeah. So I think the Team USA win it last time.
I'm not sure.
I think they did.
And they should
But
get out of that fucking pool.
Adam Jones robbed that home run against Manny Machado. That was sweet. But yeah, so we'll obviously keep an eye on the World Baseball Classic. I just wanted to bring up, I thought that was interesting.
Dude, they're fucking pool. They got fucking a nice ass pool. They got Canada, Colombia, Mexico, them, and Great Britain.
They could come out of that.
They can easily come out of that. The Dominican Republic one, it's them, Israel, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
Yeah.
We knew what you meant.
Australia, China, Japan, Korea, Czech Republic. Ooh. I would say Japan. Is
Yeah,
China good at basketball?
Basketball?
Or baseball? Sorry.
No. The U.S. is the defending champ. And this article says, and they roll out a lineup that is the strongest as ever assembled in the World Baseball Classic, and it includes Mike Trout for the first time. Social media has initiated a love affair at the Dominican team, and the Dominicans are ranked number 1 here. But based on 2022 numbers, the U.S. lineup is stronger. Features Paul Goldschmidt, Mike Trout, Nolan Arenado, Mookie Betts, Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil, Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Kyle Tucker. Yeah, I mean,
That's a team. That's
Yeah.
a fucking team there.
yeah, I'm excited to watch it. I love these events like this. I think it's good for the sport. I also think the players, although it disrupts their routine a little bit, like getting away from their team and spring training stuff.
like the
It's
World
fun to
Cup.
get them
You're
together.
playing for your fucking country. It's different. You know what I mean? I like
Yeah.
that. I like that the sports. Like, you can't really do it in. I mean, in football, because obviously it's not that type of sport. But like, I love the World Cup because you're getting the best countries in the world of that sport together and competing to see who's the best in the world
Yeah.
at this sport. I really enjoy that. Like, I wish there was. I mean, I wish there was more countries that you could do this with, because that would be amazing to see a basketball. I mean, they have one, but it's just the U.S. almost dominates it every single time.
It's them in Argentina for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wished in basketball they would do like a Ryder Cup thing where they didn't take from one country, but they took from like all of Europe, because then it would be like the American players versus the Europeans, and I think that would make the international teams a little bit stronger.
Well, the international style of play is different, so that's why
Right.
sometimes the U.S. has a hard time, because it's a different style of play.
Yeah,
than
they
what
play
they're used
team
to in the
basketball. We're
NBA.
not just jacking up threes and playing no defense.
Yep.
KJ Osborne saves a man from a burning car. Good job,
Yes.
KJ.
Yeah. Sunday night. Good job. I think it was down in Florida too. I think that's
Yeah,
what it was.
yeah. It was cool. I mean, just to the rescue. Said that I saw a picture of the car. That thing was engulfed in flames. So glad KJ's all right, and glad that the guy's all right as well.
Yeah, if you want to hear it, I mean, quick little free shout out. It's on the Adam Schefter podcast. So find the Adam Schefter fucking podcast this week, and KJ talks about it on there. I'm pretty sure. I haven't listened to it yet. I was planning on going to it, but
We reached out to KJ, trying to get on as a guest, so we'll keep you guys posted on that. And obviously, we have him on. We'll talk plenty about that. So, all right, let's get to some golf talk, Casey. Players Championship week, no Tiger in the field, Obviously, that's always disappointing, but I think with the Masters right around the corner, there's no reason to risk it. And this is such a hard tournament to win anyway. 156 players in the field or whatever. So, you got any players that you're going to be keeping an eye on this week? Anybody you think that's? I mean, John Rahm, obviously. Rory. I think this is Rory's tournament to lose. I think with Cam Smith being the defending champion, obviously he's not playing in it because he defected to live. Cam Smith said he's still going to go to the tournament. I guess it's like 5 minutes from his house. So that's going to be interesting to see if the broadcast shows him at all, like just being a patron walking around.
Right.
But I think with how Rory lost the Open last year to Cam Smith, I think that, and Rory's Captain America, he's the face of the PGA Tour right now. I think it's Rory's tournament to lose.
I can see that. I can see him easily winning this, but I'm going to go Max Homa.
That'd be great.
I think he's going to win it. I think he's going to end up winning it.
That'd be great. JT obviously won it back in 21, so he's obviously going to be on it. Jordan Spieth. I mean, there's so many guys I wouldn't mind seeing win it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, McIlroy, Rahm, JT. I mean, Cantley, honestly. I'm a huge Cantley guy. You already know that. I'm Cantley. Fuck Cantley. Fuck Cantley.
Cantley.
JT, Max Homa. I mean,
the needle.
Not at all. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of him.
Yeah, I mean, I love this tournament. Obviously, we were texting and talking on the phone about, like, is this the fourth most famous golf course in the world? And I think it is. I think it's Pebble Beach. I think it's St. Andrews.
Augusta.
Sorry, I just totally liked Augusta. And then I think it's this. I think the 17th hole is that iconic. It being at TPC Sawgrass Stadium course there. I'm really looking forward to the tournament. It seems to always provide good drama, especially like on Sunday when that shot at 17 really matters. I just think it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to watching it this week. Us playing golf is right around the corner, too. It's starting to warm up here in Michigan. I think we probably got our last big snowstorm this weekend, so...
Knock on wood, dude. Shut the fuck up.
Are you good, dude?
Guess what's going to happen this weekend? We will get another one just because you said something.
Yeah, you'll probably lose power again.
You can go fuck yourself. Dude, that was miserable that day and a half.
Yeah, that sucks. Losing power is the worst. Yeah, hopefully by next couple weeks we can get out and play around once you're off and whatever, and we can play 9 and see how the swings are looking.
Dude, my swing's looking great. I'm expecting to shoot like I normally shot back in 2021.
Dude hasn't played golf since 2005.
2021, August 2021. Honestly, I would have been able to play last year if T-Web didn't force me to play twice.
That's cap. That's not
what?
true.
You forced me to play league with you that Wednesday after I got hurt, and then you forced me to play Sunday because you guys were running your fucking mouth, peer pressuring me. So I said, fuck it, I'll do it.
You shot like 150 the last time we played.
No, I did. Me?
You got like a 15 on one of those.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I shot what'd I shoot? What'd I shoot? I was like hold on. I'm looking it up now because you fucking pissed me off. What'd I shoot it on?
I just remember that one hole back and forth over the green. I was already in.
Even with that, I think I still shot in the 90s.
Whoa! Relax. Goodness gracious.
I think that's my password. Sinking account.
This guy's just...
No, you want to run your fucking mouth, dude. I'm going to look it up. What was my last round? It's not on here. Shit. My last round's Washtenaw in July.
Did we use a different app for that? Would that one be on 18 birdies or something? Because you're probably looking at your...
I'm looking at Golf Shot.
Yeah. What'd you shoot at Washtenaw?
90.
Good.
Me rounds Nope.
Interesting. That's awfully convenient.
What? Why don't? Oh, we played at what's it called? Stonebridge, so they have the top things. I wouldn't have used Golf Shot because back then I had my GAM membership, so I just posted my score in that.
Okay.
And since I don't have my GAM membership anymore, I can't log on to it and figure it out.
That's a good point. I guess that's fair.
Because Stonebridge has the score thing on their cards.
Yeah, the digital scoreboard.
So I would have just taken my score from that and posted it straight into.
Oh yeah, so you just took the 121 and put it into your.
It wasn't 121. I know I beat. Look, whatever Phil shot, I tied Phil that day. I'm pretty sure it was like 90 something.
It's a tough course.
It's a tough course. I'm not saying like I fucking shot in the 80s, but like.
Did you play with us when we played it with Justin?
Yeah, I shot.
Remember that when he
hit a house.
Yeah.
That was in 2020. I mean, I have that score here. Yeah, I shot a 97.
Would you go front and back?
Hold on one second. $47.50.
Yeah, back's hard.
And I had a 9. I had a 9 on the 50, and I had a 7 on the a 7 on a par 4 for the 47, and a 9 on a par 4 for the 50. And I had another 7. Oh, that's only a double.
Oh, was that on a par 5?
That was on a par 5.
Yeah, you probably went OB, had to drop, duffed, 2-putt.
Oh. 2 penalty strokes on the front, 3 penalty strokes on the back.
Yeah, it's a tough course. It is.
Putting sucked. 2.06 putts per hole.
Yeah, you need to get
dog
shit. Like 1.5.
Huh?
I said, yeah, you want it to be closer to like 1.5.
Yeah, my putting, dude. If you look at this shit, me going from a blade to that stupid mallet, I jumped.
Do you still have the mallet?
I sold it.
Oh, did you end up selling it? Who bought it?
A guy from 517.
Oh, nice. Oh,
yeah,
good.
I sold it to his wife for like $150 because he got it for her for like a Mother's Day present.
I mean, it was just sitting there. You might as well have just taken what you could have gotten. So
yeah, like I jumped 0.2 or 0.3 putts per hole just by switching from my blade to my mallet. Like up.
We're coming up on like the anniversary of you buying that because it was on my dad's birthday, wasn't it?
That's spider.
Yeah, you just like.
Well, it wasn't your dad's birthday because it was. I think we golfed after it.
Well, I know, but I mean like around because my dad's birthday is on the 18th of this month. So, but yeah, I remember us being at Carl's Golfland and you just wanted to spend $400 on something, and you were like,
look at my 78 right here.
See, you see all those other scores, guys, and he went and played by himself, and all of a sudden shot a 78. Real weird, playing 3 balls at once.
What do you? Wow, well, dude, that was unnecessary. I mean, the scores are. That's your fucked up. I can't wait until.
You're like a 10 handicap, 14 handicap.
I'm a fucking 15. I'm not gonna be nice to myself. I'm like a 15 point something. Like
better to be honest.
Damn near 16. Yeah, I'm honest. I'm not because like think about it. I go out there and say I'm a 10 handicap. You have a dude that's a 13 handicap, and I'm having to give him strokes when he should be giving me.
Yeah, right. That's the best part.
I'm a 6. I'm honest about my handicap.
I lean into mine because it's like cool. To be honest, if we're gonna play this the right way, then we have to like you're giving me strokes.
Yeah, but it's like, and it's honestly, I don't unless if I'm playing for like real money, unless you have a real fucking like GAM membership and you have a legit handicap, I'm not going based on what your league says. Fuck that. Because every league is different. Because like, and I was like a between 5 and 7 in my league, and I'm pretty sure I would probably be different in your league than my league. Because your league does it a lot different than my league does. Because doesn't your league take your worst score?
I've been in it so long now, it's just kind of established. The handicap I tell people is based on what 18 birdies tells me, because that has the most amount of rounds. I don't really. Right. Plus, my league handicap, it's like only based on a 9-hole.
9-hole. I mean, just take your and thing is 9-hole is a lot different than 18.
Right. It is because you could go play 18 and that like you might shoot a 40 on the front, but by the time you get to the back, you could shoot a 50. You could be 10 strokes different, especially at Pineview, where the front and back are night and day when it comes to difficulty. It's not even close. So, needless to say, that was a long roundabout way to say I'm really looking forward to golfing, and I'm really looking forward to putting out some golf content. I think that's going to be fun. So, let's talk about the Combine, Casey. You've got some draft crushes. We got to air this out. We got to talk this out.
Dude, I got a ton. I got a ton of drafts.
Obviously,
I got a ton of guys I want. Like,
good, okay.
I thought about it. I thought long and hard. I want them to trade every pick next year and get picks this year.
Okay. We'll get to that in a second, but Anthony Richardson, obviously the big story from the Combine, kind of stole the show with just crazy numbers when it comes to being like an athlete. Broke the record for like the high jump, which I don't really care how high my quarterback can jump, but just it proving that he is a physical specimen. Another thing that it was being reported that he interviewed the best out of all the quarterbacks. All the teams he interviewed with came out being like, this guy is a football player. He loves football. Just killed the interview process, which some people might think that's not important. That's huge. Because teams are trying to find a fit, right? And they're not going to bring in somebody that they don't think fits what they have going on. So that's an important part of the process. But yeah, AR-15, I think that's a canceled nickname. Anthony Richardson stole the show.
AR-15, fuck it.
Look,
we're bringing it back. AR-15, especially when he gets drafted by the Lions.
We'll see what happens. I was hearing today that, with all this, we'll get to what I was about to say in a minute. So, Casey, go ahead. Who are your draft crushes?
No, get to what you were going to say.
I was going to say that with Daniel Jones getting the money he got today, the talk on local radio was like, do you go to Jared Goff right now and try and extend him? That way you avoid having to pay him $50 million a year. Maybe he'd agree to like 35 to 40 right now. You know what I mean?
But it's one of those things to where
Because they're like, if you wait and he has another good year and he takes you to a playoff game and wins one, he's going to want $50 million a year.
Do you wait until after the draft and then make that decision? Or do you do it now before all of a sudden all these quarterbacks start making fucking money?
Yeah. So what they were saying is you go to them and you get a deal in place, but you don't announce it until after the draft because if the Lions say we're going to make Jared Goff our permanent solution for the next 4 years. But you don't let teams know that because then if you're sitting there at 6, they're going to know they're not taking a quarterback. And they're going to be way less likely.
Valuable.
Right. So if you keep that quiet enough and all of a sudden Carolina thinks, shit, there's a chance that they take Richardson at 6. And all of a sudden, ring, you can be like, 2 first-rounders. That's what it's going to cost. You know what I mean? So I'm curious to see what they do. We've said this on other podcasts, like other shows, but I trust Brad Holmes, so if they decide to move on with Jared Goff or without, I will follow that lead. I don't have a major preference either way. But if they're not going to move on with Jared Goff, then I want them to take a quarterback this year because I don't know when they're going to be in a position again to be in the top 10 without having to trade up to be in the top 10. So I think that's just something they need to identify, and I'm sure they have, because if you do this like when you're in halfway territory where you're like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, it makes it very difficult to just make a decision one way or another. So if they want to stick with Goff, great. In his last 24 games, he's got 40 touchdowns, over 6,000 yards, and 8 picks. He's been arguably the best quarterback in the NFC in the last 24 games, him and Jalen Hurts. So I'm totally fine with them wanting to stick with Jared Goff.
I'm fine because he's a good game manager in my opinion.
And with that Lions team, you just don't need. I love the fact that he doesn't make mistakes with the football.
Yep.
Wait it out. We'll see. But I guess with that being said, if they don't want to pay him, then they need to take a quarterback this year. And with that being said, I know Anthony Richardson was a huge draft crush for you after the weekend. You were tweeting All about him.
But it's one of those things to where I see Richardson going top 4. I mean, look, Bears are most likely trading out of 1. Bears are definitely trading out of 1.
Yeah, I agree.
So quarterback's going 1, quarterback's going 2.
Agree.
A quarterback's not going 3 because who has 3?
Cardinals.
Cardinals are not going quarterback.
Colts.
Then you have Colts are going quarterback. Seahawks just signed Geno.
Yeah.
We'll get to that deal, but Seahawks just signed Geno. So it's one of those things.
Deal. It's a great deal.
Phenomenal
for both sides.
deal, but they're not going after a quarterback.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would be surprised if they still took a quarterback at 5. It feels like they think, especially the NFC is so much weaker than the AFC. That
And how good your team was last year. Your team made the playoffs, right?
Right. Well, they prevented the Lions from getting in. I don't know. I can't remember if they made it or not. But regardless,
they did because Lions beat the Packers, didn't they?
Yeah. So they didn't get in. But still,
no, they did get in. Seahawks got in because the Lions beat the Packers, and then the Seahawks got in because if the Packers would have won, the Packers would have been in.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, so yeah, they made the playoffs, and I feel like they're going to use that pick to bolster us, like get another weapon. Or
I was just watching ESPN special, and they were saying that Todd McShay and who's the other guy?
Mel Kiper.
Mel Kiper said that they're going to go after that DN from Tech.
Oh, Tyree Wilson.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's who apparently the Cardinals are in love with too.
They said they had them get Will Anderson.
Okay, yeah. I think the first 3 defensive players are going to be Wilson, Anderson, and Jalen Carter.
Still, guess what? Jalen Carter falls right into our lap at 6.
That'd be great.
And he had the best draft grade.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he killed it at the combine. He was fast. He was strong, explosive. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. That's what people have to remember when we talk about the draft, and especially talking about quarterbacks. When it takes one good combine for someone like Anthony Richardson to shoot up draft boards, not only because of his physical traits, but because his marketability is now so much higher. Everyone knows.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, right.
Daniel Jones was not shit in college.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm pretty sure he had a good combine, and all of a sudden he shot up draft boards and got picked in the top 10, and now he's making $40 million a year.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I just think people got to keep in mind that like quarterbacks are going to go higher than people think. Whether they deserve to be it is not the question. There's just such a limited amount of high caliber quarterbacks coming out of college that we're like, you could legitimately say Anthony Richardson is a second round talent. But they're not going to wait till the second round because their chance to let him go is way too high because his ceiling is so high, but his floor is really low. So I think all the draft stuff is so fascinating every year because, like you mentioned with Daniel Jones, there are players that just come out of nowhere and end up getting picked in the first round. You're like, ooh, what the hell, right? And then obviously the local interest here for the Lions is huge because we'll see what they do in free agency, and that'll tell us a lot about where they're looking in the draft. So I'm excited for that.
In that special, they had them getting that Gonzalez guy out of Oregon.
Yeah.
That corner.
And then the only knock on him is that he had like one good year. You know what I mean? He wasn't like a really highly touted prospect. Started at Colorado, transfers to Oregon, has a great year. I mean, he's a dynamic athlete. But again, we're not scouts. We're just repeating what we've heard. So
right.
I'd say another draft crush of yours was that tight end out of Georgia, Darnell Washington. That is a big human being.
Dude, even if they don't like utilize him as like a catching the ball tight end, they love running the ball. They love dudes. Just think about it. Throw him on the line, and it's like you don't know if the Lions are going to run his way or if that fucking 6'7", 270 dude is going to peel out and Goff is just going to toss it up to the motherfucker.
Yeah, he's a weapon because obviously Georgia loves running the football too, and so he's familiar with having to block. And I heard an interview where he's really committed to blocking. He knows that is a skill that is really, important for the tight end position. He's like, I want to be more than a pass catcher. He goes, all the greats can block. He mentioned Kelsey, like Kelsey moves people out of the way. And granted, Kelsey's known as a prolific ball catcher. Of course, he's great. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, especially the way the Lions want to do it, you want someone that's just pick it up and put it down. Like move humans out of the way, and he certainly could do that. I mean, that video of him moving the sled was ridiculous. Ridiculous. I mean, I was like, it looked fake. I was like, hey, okay, that's not a real sled. And then you saw the video of Sam Laporta from Iowa barely moving it. And Darnell's just like walking, like, where do you want me to set this guy?
Yeah,
He's
like Jesus Christ. I want him bad.
Yeah.
I want him
I could totally see the Lions, because they've got 2 second-round selections. Like, maybe with the second-round selection, if he's still there, the first one even, like, grab him. Because, like you said, I think he's just a really unique weapon. People want to talk all this stuff about how good Kyle Pitts was as a tight end prospect coming out of college. As a route runner and a catcher, sure, but Darnell Washington seemingly can do it all. So, and we talked about this yesterday. You're on the goal line, 4th and inches, put him at fullback.
Yep.
Put him at fullback. Who cares? He's huge. He's going to get through. So
either hand the ball off to him or hand it off to Jamal Williams and say, run behind
this guy. Yeah, right.
He will get you in. Or a QB sneak and just have him just pick Jared Goff. No, don't push. Pick him up and throw him in.
Yeah. That would be awesome. I think one of my big draft crushes is Jack Campbell, linebacker from Iowa. They're a desperate need for linebackers at Lions, so he seems like he'd be a good field general middle linebacker there for them. It still allows Rodrigo to do his thing off the edge and everything. So that's been a guy I've wanted. It sounds like, just based on positional need and stuff, he's probably going to go in the 2nd or 3rd round. Hopefully, maybe not. I don't know. Like we just talked about, guys jump up draft boards all the time, and every year there's a guy that gets taken that even the analysts are like, what? They took this guy in this spot? So who knows? But that's a guy that I would love to see end up on the Lions. And then obviously we mentioned Jalen Carter. Like, that's a dream scenario at 6.
Yeah.
That would be him or Will Anderson. You pair him with Aiden Hutchinson on that line and James Houston and some of the other pieces they already have. That all of a sudden becomes a formidable front 5, front 4, and that's how you win in this league. I mean, you look at the Chiefs with Chris Jones in the middle, and just how disruptive that was. Because it's one thing to get pressure off the edge, but when you are just moving back your linemen into the quarterback's throwing area, that's tough, and it makes Hudson's job a lot easier. So we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, like I said, that's a dream scenario. Doesn't feel like, even with this off the field stuff, he's gonna drop very much. So we'll see what happens there. Any other guys you really like? Well,
No,
who's your favorite corner?
I kind of want to do another mock draft.
Okay, we can do that. We want to do it at the end.
Sure, fuck it.
Okay.
I mean, I have to look at the corners. I mean, I like Joey Porter Jr. I like Witherspoon out of Illinois. What's his name out of Michigan surprised me. What, DJ Turner running?
Oh my gosh, 4.23.
Yeah. I think it was 4.26 is what it was.
Well, I just know it's tied for like the 3rd fastest ever.
Yeah, dude went off.
Yeah, that surprised me too, because I watched pretty much every minute of every Michigan football game this year, and he was good, but I guess you just don't notice speed like that at corner, especially like if you're that locked on of corner, they just don't throw to you very often, but like that's fast.
Right.
I felt bad. One of the top linemen in the class, offensive lineman, tore his ACL at the combine.
Oh, that
sucks. That just sucks, man. All right, let's do this.
You want to do it now or you want to go after the?
We'll do it now.
Okay, but
since we're already talking about it, can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Anthony Richardson. He fell right to us. He fell, dude. He fell right to us.
Is that who you want?
Yeah. I mean, is that who you want?
We'll take him. Oh, this is the guy. I want to take him.
Let's do it.
We need interior linemen.
Let's do it.
I'm already loving this draft. .45, 440 as a linebacker. Former wide receiver athleticism.
Let's go. Send.
Sign me up.
Send. Full send.
Yeah. Got a linebacker. We need it. We'll trade back to 58, see if we can get pick 90. Yeah.
Who's on the board? What about your that? Wasn't that your boy? Didn't you want that tight end from Iowa?
No.
I mean, didn't you say that wasn't he the dude you like?
No.
Oh, sorry, I thought he was.
I take Andre Carter.
Let's do it. We're gonna get like an A+ draft trade. Eli Ricks.
Yeah. The grades are stupid because they primarily go off of like what they have determined as your team needs, and that's stupid. This is your boy.
Let's do it. That 6'7" tight end. Let's do it.
He's huge, dude.
That dude is ginormous. Either trade back or go O-line. Or that corner from... No, fuck that corner from Maryland. Center, since fucking what's-his-name is always hurt.
Yeah, and we just got rid of... We're probably going to get rid of Evan Brown. And grab a running back?
I'd rather wait for...
That's our last pick.
That's our last pick. Let's just get that edge from Central. Fuck it. Fire up.
Yeah. Fire up.
Let's just do it. Fuck it. I mean, he's not making the team anyway, so...
That's so mean, dude. See how we did. B+, A, B, A, B, B, C+, A-. It's pretty good. This is a good-looking team right here.
That's a good look at our last pick was the worst one.
That's mean. All right, let's move on from the draft talk. Let's talk about some NFL offseason stuff here. Obviously, Geno Smith's deal. I got it pulled up right here. New 3-year deal. $105 million max value, includes $30 million in incentives, and its base value is $75 million over 3 years, $40 million guaranteed. It's a really good deal for both sides. With the incentives, he can make up to $50 million this year, which means, you know what? If he hits those incentives, they probably won a bunch of games. So that's good. I love the incentive-based contracts. I think that's the best way to go. So, yeah, good for Geno Smith, comeback player of the year, as we said he was going to be. We called that from, like, week 4 on. Led the league in completion percentage last year. So it'll be interesting to see if this is a flash in the pan for Geno Smith, one good year, and he goes back to being, you know, the old Geno Smith that wasn't all that great. So we'll see what happens there. Lamar Jackson gets the non-exclusive franchise tag from the Ravens. Which means that they'll have a chance to match any offer. If not, the team that signs him has to ship 2 first-round picks to the Ravens. That would include picks in this year's draft. Where do you think Lamar ends up? I don't think any team's going to give him $250 million fully guaranteed. That's crazy town.
Fuck no. I heard Atlanta could be a fit. for him.
Yep. Atlanta. Desmond Ritter's their quarterback. I think the Colts are crazy enough to do something. Because their owner just is desperate. They've brought in Rivers, Matt Ryan,
Wentz,
Carson Wentz, Nick Foles, and none of them have worked out. I don't know if I'd give the 4th overall pick and then a first again next year. I'm just not really high on Lamar. That's the problem. I know he's a dynamic playmaker, but when his legs go and he can't run anymore, he's gonna be.
He can't win the big game. Look at him in the playoffs. He can't. He sucks in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see where Lamar ends up, and obviously we'll follow that story. Excuse me. So we'll keep you posted on that. I don't know. Washington maybe.
I heard that. Yep, I heard Washington could be a thing.
It's just the 2 first-round picks, and
that's a lot.
That's just
and
you
have to pay him a shit ton of enough to where that the Ravens don't offer you. Max your offer.
Yeah, the saga is going to be very interesting, and I hate for Lamar that he doesn't have an actual agent because I think he needs an adult in the room to get this done. If you want to get what you want or close to it, get an adult in the room, man. No disrespect to his mom or anything like that, but that's just not what she does for a living. You know what I mean? And
right. I
think you get an adult in the room and it helps broker the deal for both sides instead of someone like your mom's just like, well, the only thing we're interested in is fully guaranteed. Well, that's not going to happen, so let's try to work to a solution that you can live with. Obviously, the Ravens said they're going to continue trying to negotiate for a deal that's fair to both the organization and to Lamar Jackson. It's going to be I'm fascinated to see how this all plays out because there's a lot of teams that need a quarterback out there, but that's a lot of money and 2 first-round picks. You're leveraging the future of your franchise for one player. So
yeah, you better hope you're going to win at least 2 or 3 Super Bowls in the next 5 or 6 years with the guy if you're going to offer.
Yeah, or at least one, just one, and I think it's worth it. But Daniel Jones, you mentioned this. Gets 4 years, $160 million.
Which is insane.
I wouldn't have paid him that.
That is insane. You're telling me that Daniel Jones, a top 20 quarterback in the NFL, is a $40 million man.
That's just the way the market's going. That's why it scares me about Jared Goff, because Jared Goff is better than Daniel Jones. I'm calling Jared Goff tonight and being like, let's work out an extension. Like right now, I don't know Jared Goff, but I would preach the Brady model to him. Yeah, it'd be great to get paid, but do you want to win? Because we're going to need to be able to re-sign all these guys that make you so successful. So let's work out.
Look at Mahomes.
Mahomes is different. Mahomes is just.
No, I know, but it's like they can be like, well, we'll go look at Kansas City. Mahomes is making $50 million a year, and they're still winning championships.
And you know what, buddy? If you think you're as good as Mahomes, then we're gonna check you into a hospital, because there's something not right. And he deserves the money. I'm not saying he doesn't, but do an incentive-laden deal like Geno Smith just did. 35 base can make up to 50. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or 40 base make up to 52. I don't know, but they got to do something. 'Cause I love Jared, and I'm glad JG has embraced the city of Detroit and everything, and has brought a winning culture along with him. I can't pay you $50 million a year. I just can't do it. Derek Carr to the Saints. I did not see that coming.
I saw it coming. But when he first got released, I heard that was one of the spots that he can go to. I'm not surprised that they actually got a deal done. What do you think happens
with Jameis? You think they cut Jameis Winston?
I heard they're going to cut Jameis. Because that would free up like $3 or $4 million or something like that.
Yeah. I'm glad Derek Carr landed on his feet. I'm a big Derek Carr fan, and he ends up with a great organization with good ownership, stable. You know what I mean? He's got some weapons there. Chris Olave, Kamara, if Kamara even plays this year. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Derek Carr. I'm glad he landed on his feet, though. Now, you know, the Raiders, who the Raiders get. The Raiders go after Lamar?
No, I heard that they were the team. They traded up in the draft. They traded up to 4 and drafted a quarterback.
Really?
Or do they have the 4th pick?
No.
So they trade in this mock
Indy
draft.
has
They
the
trade.
fourth pick.
Yep. So they traded up to 4 and drafted the QB
Interesting. And then
because
today,
they were the ones that drafted Anthony Richardson.
okay, all right. I don't know about all that, but all right. Let's see. Jets met with Aaron Rodgers in California today.
Yep, I heard they flew out there.
Yep. So obviously, that seems to be all but a done deal.
Yep. Now we can pretty much just say it. Aaron Rodgers. Well, it depends on. They would have to trade, right? Or is he a free agent?
Sorry, you cut out really bad. What'd you say?
I said, is he a free agent or can they just sign him?
No, he'd have to be traded. It's like
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so they'd have to work out a trade with the Packers. And then
Yep.
I'll be interested to see what the Packers do. Do the Packers stick with Jordan Love? Do they get in the QB market and try to get a veteran in there?
I would say you have to give Jordan Love a shot after not even attempting. Yeah, he's a first round pick, and those one at the point to where you didn't even need a quarterback then.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like Aaron Rodgers was still at the height of his game, and there was no need to draft a QB in that slot when you could have drafted someone that could have helped Aaron Rodgers out.
Right. Yeah. Like whether it's an offensive tackle, a wide receiver, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
And they said, "Nah, we'll take Jordan Love." I will say, if Jordan Love goes on to be great, then they are the best quarterback franchise ever. To go from Favre to Rodgers, and then if Jordan Love ends up being like really good, that's going to be the craziest story of all time. From the little I saw from Jordan Love, I wouldn't hold your breath, but I agree with you. I think that you have to at least give him a shot.
No, I agree.
So
the crazy stat, I forgot when it was. I saw it over the weekend after the Saints signed Derek Carr. I forgot to bring it up when we were there. I just thought about it. They haven't drafted a quarterback since Arch Manning.
the Saints?
The Saints in the first round. They have not. They are one of the only teams that have not drafted a first round quarterback since Arch Manning.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
I know. I was like, holy shit. Well, like, if you think about it,
that's a long time ago.
Drew Brees was their quarterback for so long, and it was like you didn't need a quarterback.
Yeah, but before Drew Brees, Arch Manning was. Come on, like
It was like It was like in the 70s or 80s. I forgot when it was.
That's interesting, huh? Yeah, I mean, Drew Brees was their guy for so long. I think Derek Carr is going to do well there. I really do.
Or not Arch Manning. Whatever the fuck. You know who I'm talking about. No, is it Arch Manning?
Yeah.
The dad?
Yeah.
So I was right. Okay.
All right. That's the show. I got nothing else. That's the show sheet.
No music?
Go ahead.
They moved it on us. It's down below.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't see it.
Powered by Riverside.
Riverside. Next week we have a special guest. I'm not going to say his name, but we have a special guest. We have a guest on next week's show.
Yeah, no, we can say his name. We're going to have defensive coordinator from the Siena Heights football team, E.J. Shaw, close friend of the program. We'll have him on for a show next week. I think we're going to record it on Friday, and then maybe we'll just use it for our Monday episode. But that should be good. We're going to talk about his rise in coaching, what his.
Dude, I've been looking at his shit today. We'll get into it when we interview him. This dude's a coach. This dude's a fucking hell of a coach. I'm looking at his resume, and he is a hell of a fucking coach. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to having him on. We'll obviously talk about his rise in coaching, what his aspirations are, and what it looks like recruiting kids at, it's not a Division I program, so how's that work, and what he thinks, obviously, of the ever-changing recruiting landscape when it comes to NIL, and how he thinks that he sees all that playing out for Division I and all that. So we'll have him on. We're going to interview him Friday. Should be a good show. I'm looking forward to you guys hearing it. Without further ado, Hope you enjoyed episode 41.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.